We have other questions. I know we have a question over here on this side. Okay, over here. Yes, orange.
Yeah, hi. Jamie Siaco, Trendy.com. When the web sort of started out, it was mainly text, images, some video. Now, fast forward 15 years later, social media is pretty much text, images, some video. Now, with the exception of social gaming, obviously, what do you see as the future of interactivity in the social media space?
So I'll jump in on this, and it also ties into the last question a little bit. I think that there are a couple of key trends that we're going to see about how we actually make this a lot deeper, a lot richer, a lot more engaging. One of them, and to tie this to the last question, has to do with location-based interactions. Scavenger and Level Up and everything that we do is very much tied to location, is tied to transitioning or rather bridging the gap between online interaction and offline interaction, sort of transforming that digital gap into something that's really easy to cross over. And so to the previous question, how do you add a lot of value to advertisers? Well, one way, and we actually played with this just recently with a radio station out in LA, they, using their online presence, created challenges on Scavenger to drive online traffic, online followers into foot traffic, into actual physical things going on in store. And so how do we make this experience richer? Well, a lot of it is actually doing something weird, which is pulling people out of being online and pulling them into the physical world and creating rich experiences there. And I think that's one sort of vector of evolution that hasn't really been, we've obviously talked about it a lot over the last year or so, but hasn't been matured in any way. The second one that I think is a bit more, a bit further off, location-based technologies are happening now, and you can use them, and you can add a lot of value to advertisers, to users, to fun. But a second one, which is just way sort of futuristic for now, is augmented reality. Which, for those of you guys who might not be familiar with augmented reality, it's sort of the practice of using your computer's camera or your phone's camera or anything else that can record images in real time, and using some software to overlay something real on top of that. So a standard use case for some really interesting social interactions online there are these stores that are allowing you to stand in front of your computer's camera, and they're online retail stores that sell clothes, and they will use augmented reality to take that picture and actually have you sort of be on your own runway with those clothes, and you can share that to your friends on Facebook and Twitter and actually overlay these images. Super cool technology, not really viable yet for mainstream consumption, but if you're looking for what deeper interactions can be, it's either pulling online to offline, or it's making that online experience so real that it really becomes immersive, much more so than a video or pictures or text can do.
You can add a thick, full head of hair on some of those applications as well. So,
have you tried that, Mike?
But why would you?
Which is awesome, but why?
Why would you, exactly?
I think the other application of that technology we're seeing now emerge in mobile devices is the ability to, if you can imagine running your cell phone camera and holding your cell phone up, like let's say to look down a street of retail, and be able to have an overlay of all of the offers and deals that were available at the various retail locations. I think that what Seth really sort of coined the term game layer, and we're seeing the game layer and the deal layer as something that augments physical reality, and I think that's happening much more quickly than most people anticipated.
Cisco recently released a report forecasting that the demand for for wireless bandwidth will increase by a factor of 10 over the next 5 years. And I think what will happen is this will unleash the potential of real-time video, which is still very limited when it comes to mobile devices. But this is to both Seth and Mike's point. We are going to see some very interesting new applications that will enable all of us with our camera phones, with our smartphones, to essentially become broadcasters, real-time broadcasters, and that's going to open up a whole new range of services and business opportunities, and it's going to change our lives.
Excellent. Yes, we have a question over here on the left. If you stand up, sir, then we can take your picture as well.
Oh, great.
Just smile and we'll put
Facial
the hair on the top.
recognition
Yes.
technology, data correlations, yeah.
Right. David Picheni from Eyes Over Copley in Copley Place. So you guys scare me, or you could scare me, as could this group, because I have one store, one eyeglass store. It's a very successful store, but we are seeing the traffic in malls starting to be a lot less than they had been, and we do feel that we need to be a location. You have to want to come to us as opposed to just passing by. Everything I've heard so far that's been talked about are large companies. Where's the room for me? 65, gray hair, don't know much about the computer, I keep trying. But where is the room for me? Who do I go to so that I'm not spending my entire day trying to do this work that you're talking about?
Great question. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Well, I think, we have a client called Beanstalk Coffee. And they're a small coffee retailer out on the Cape. When we first started work with them, they had one location. They have 4 now. If you search for them on Facebook, Beanstalk Coffee, they have like 2,600 followers. And what a retailer has as a huge advantage is a physical location. And so if you start to think in terms of how do you convert foot traffic into the shop today, into people that connect with you in the social verse, you start to develop, again, that virtuous cycle of growth, right? So I think the reason that Beanstalk has been successful is they're very focused on creating an environment that matches the physical location, where there's, coffee shops are all about conversation. And if you go to that Facebook page, the vast majority of the content being supplied there is content from the community of people who are, advocates for Beanstalk because they have some level of personal loyalty with the brand. There are offers interspersed in there. Some of those offers are special offers just for the people who have connected to them on Facebook. And very often when Beanstalk will send one of those offers, people will like it or even attach it to their own pages in a way that starts to grow the universe of folks who are associated. So each person that you connect with in the digital context gives you a window on, in Facebook the average is 150. Every one of those people you can connect with on Facebook is a bridge to 150 more if you do something for them worth talking about. And so step 1, I think, is to establish a presence. Step 2 is to begin to convert your physical traffic and the people who are loyal to your brand today into people connected to you online. And step 3 is to begin to do things for that group of people that are sufficiently interesting to encourage distribution through their networks. If you do that, you'll win.
It can be as much about staying in touch with people who already know you and just getting to know and serve them better as it is about running around and finding brand new people to pull out of the random ether. And I would start with that. Find out what your customers... Now, I disadvantage here because I don't wear eyeglasses. I have disgustingly good vision. So I don't know what kind of ongoing help and services you can provide to your clients such that they remember you. Maybe content about how to help their kids understand when they need new glasses, whatever. There's a bakery in London, and actually the bakery didn't come up with it. They just had a really fantastic interactive agency lived in their neighborhood that wired up a box on the wall such that the bakers could turn the dial to the type of baked good they had just pulled out of the oven and hit a button, and that would send a tweet. So their existing customers were subscribing so they could find out when the blueberry muffins were hot.
Okay, I want to know when you can tweet the aroma.
Right?
That would be great.
He still wants smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
But everybody wins in that, right? So they used it as a way to pull together the people who were already frequenting the shop. And if you get, hey, let's be radical. If you get your current customers to start using location-based services, to start using Twitter because they can get more out of your business for free as a result, you have then just equipped them to promote your business.
I think your question also came down to your own time and resources and what it's going to cost you, so that you're not doing this stuff full time. And I think you should hire someone. And I think the way I hire someone these days is to crowdsource it. One of the great developments of social networks has been the emergence of services like Elance, and there are about 50 others like that, where you can actually post your needs, and people will compete to service your needs, to provide a service that you want at the lowest price, the highest quality, however you want. So you can actually hire people on a freelance basis to do this kind of thing. Get you on Yelp, get you on CitySearch, get people filing star ratings about their experience, so that you get that kind of viral visibility that that, as Mike and Laura said, then translates into brand ambassadorship. But you should hire someone to do this.
You can also get some leverage there by working with the other stores in your mall and the mall organization to hire somebody. Pay someone to come in and brief everybody. They're going to do it for not too much money because there's a lot of potential customers. And you're kind of competing with the other people in the mall, but you're kind of not, because if as a group you can have a lot of, First Friday events or reasons to come to the mall, a rising tide will float all boats.
And there's no charge for that consultation you just received, sir. How's that? Thank you so much. That was great. Way in the back here. Yes. The orange mic.
Good morning. My name is Larry Nicolai, and I'd like to thank that gentleman for the previous question. I would like to preface my question by saying I am not a plant. I work for Pavers by Idea. We're a New England-based manufacturer of paving stones and landscape retaining walls. But my question to the audience would be, how many people learned about this seminar from listening to WBZ radio versus social media?
Very good. How many
Great question.
by listening to the radio? Okay, social media. Interesting.
Such a great
Thank you
point.
for that, sir.
Fish where the fish are.
Thank you so much. Yes. He does not work for WBZ. As a matter of fact, I want to just zip back here, and this question will be a bit self-serving, but just bear with me. When Paul and I spoke earlier, pre-conference, Paul made this reference about what the original social media was. What was the original social media environment? And you talked about talk radio.
Well, I said it was the campfire, as I recall. But
Yes,
but,
I don't know. We talked earlier before this event. You were talking about what happened after, like, the blizzard of '78 or 9/11, when people went on the radio and spoke about their experiences, their needs, their desires. That's what social media is about.
Exactly, and talk radio is what has rescued AM radio. Talk radio and news radio. Radio has remarkable perseverance. Whereas television has sort of degenerated into this reality show glop now. Radio still has a unique role to play in the share of mind, the time that we give to it, and that's not going to change.
I always find it
mainstream
interesting.
media is not going away. Newspapers are going away.
Yeah, I always find it
newspapers are
interesting.
going away. Mainstream media, a lot of it is going to be very healthy for a long time to come.
Thank you, Paul.